I don't too much care to drink because when I do, I'm irresponsible, and it's a large part due to my friends because they take my keys but not my legs. This video is obviously a joke. I don't have any friends. It's just when I get drunk, I lose all sense of social cues. Like this one time I got kicked out the Waffle House because I thought the girl was flirting with me. I ended up freaking her out. I told my brother about it too. I said, man, I don't understand, man. That girl was totally messing with me, to which he replied, Bryce, she was asking you what you wanted to drink. That's another thing. I need y'all to take my phone too. Last time I got drunk with it, I texted my kindergarten crush, told her I missed how her crayons were always sharpened. Don't get me wrong, I can drink and still use my head, y'all. It's just usually the wrong one. Let's get it clear though, just because I don't like to drink that much does not qualify me or mean that I'm giving any type of designated driver services. What kind of sane-minded, sober person would subject himself to such debauchery? It's not that I don't want those people to get home safe, believe me. It's just I'd rather walk ass backwards into a wood chipper than hear another grown man get emotional about social issues as if he isn't one cut off in traffic away from a hate crime. Going to the bar and not getting lucky is really not that big of a difference than having a one-night stand. I mean, you have a little bit of fun, you wake up the next morning regretting it, and you got the shits. That's why these days I drink alone and I drink at home. First dates are very important for making that first impression and laying the very foundation of what could potentially be a long-lasting relationship. Which is exactly why my next first date will be at the clinic. She texted me earlier and asked me if I was going to cover the check. Oh, there's going to be a check, all right. It's going to be 2 of them. Hopefully yours comes back clean. Now, me, on the other hand, that depends what I did the other night when I was drunk, because there wasn't no birthday cake at that party, but I definitely ate something. Now, when I do this number right here, it smelled like pennies. I don't know, man. It just seemed like first dates were a lot easier back in college, And yes, I did go to college. I am college educated. Oh yeah, I'm not stupid. I'm just a dumbass. I had this buddy in college, he thought he had cracked the code on the shit. He tells me, he says, all you got to do is take them swimming. They get in the water, it washes all the makeup off. You see what they really look, the natural look, I thought, man, that's actually not a bad idea. That was a bad idea. I got out the pool and she could see my pecker print through my boxers. It was all over after that. That water was cold too. Looked like I had a turtle head poking out the wrong side. She looked down and said, that ain't no dang-a-lane, that's a moose knuckle. I don't think I ever fully recovered. Anyways, that's why I started pissing in pools. Kids these days are softer than Charmin shit paper. Back when I was in school, gym class was like boot camp, all right? Your teacher was either an alcoholic or a middle-aged woman with her hairstyle stuck in the 80s. These people would go hang a rope from the ceiling, put down a little 2-inch mat, and was like, y'all go for it. Y'all remember the pacer test? You start at one side of the gym, you run to the next, you go back and forth, and every so often they get faster and faster. Not to toot my own horn or nothing, but I still own the record down there at the high school, How many did I run? I ain't trying to brag at 124. Apparently some schools don't even do it anymore because they say it's too hard. Now what in the diabetic fuck? You know what kids did in my day during the pacer test when it was too hard? They quit and they sat down. Because you can do that, dumbass. I already knew things were going downhill. Hell, when I was a senior, we were told at the pet rally we could not say fresh meat on your feet because it was offensive, because one of the kids, went up to the office crying like a little bitch. Hell, I had fun getting hazed. I didn't have friends up to that point. Funny thing is, a lot of those teachers that helped participate in the hazing and stuff, they immediately turned around and was like, yeah, I never really agreed with that. I think it's a smart... Shut the fuck up. I waited 4 years to be able to haze a freshman, only to be told I couldn't. I'm gonna need some sort of restitution. I feel like y'all took something from me. Somebody needs to do a Dazed and Confused part 2. You got Matthew McConaughey over there, all right. That's what I like about these high school girls, I keep getting older and they stay the same age. Then it pans over to me and I got like 10 freshmen in a trash can. I'm trying to fucking pan them all in there. I'm actually not a comedian. I just get on here and tell you guys the same shit I told my therapist last Thursday. Now, it's no secret that I curse like a sailor with Tourette's. And from time to time, it's been known to upset some people. Every now and again, I have someone comment, say, Bryce, you should stop cussing so much. You should tone it down. Well, fuck. Those aren't curse words. They identify as sentence enhancers, tone setters, spicy vocabulary. Yeah, I could be like dang it and crap, but I'm more like Kevin Bacon from Tremors, I like to look at something and, well, shit. There's a presence of struggle in that shit. You see what I'm saying? You don't have that same struggle and crap. It's like trying to be a soul singer and you ain't got no soul. You got a good voice, but you could tell the difference. If I ever had to stop cussing, I just stopped talking altogether. At that point, my words would be a liability. In fact, they say 99% of people who cuss a lot are geniuses. And I know that to be true because I'm in the 1% that isn't. I only cuss a lot to let people know that I'm of age because kids don't cuss, ever. Never. It's never happened. it's scientifically impossible. I told myself being single was gonna be a blessing, because now I get to go wherever I want to go and do whatever I want to do, and hell, I get to eat wherever I want to eat. Turns out I was wrong. Hell, I can't even make up my own mind. I don't need a partner to complicate things for me. I get 'em my own way just fine. When it comes to getting things done, I'm a pro. Procrastinator. If I got two very important things I need to get done in one day, I'll sit around and contemplate which one is the higher priority, and then I'll usually go to bed because the day's over and I didn't accomplish shit. I got single when I told myself I was finally gonna get me a new tattoo, and now every time I drive by the parlor, I say the same thing. I say, man, we ain't got the money for that right now. Man, that's some shit my ex used to say. Everything reminds me of her. And not the fact that we have a son together, that's besides the point. The point is that I'm autistic, which means I can paint and draw really well. I just have trouble pronouncing my R's. Are me and my son's mom on good terms? Absolutely, of course. Is she gonna give me shit for this video? Oh, 100%. I tell her all the time, I'm a comedian. She should have never took me seriously. One of these days, I will run out of shit to talk about. But it won't be today. And the reason being is because there's two of me. And whenever I tell people that, they say, what, you got some kind of superpower? Are you a mutant or some shit? It's like, bitch, I'm bipolar. On my taxes, it's like writing a college essay the day before it's due. I'm not exactly sure what I turned in, but I sure hope it's good enough. We're getting closer to tax season, which means we're about to see a spike in Dodge Charger sales. I wish I was taught how to do my taxes while I was in school, but instead they educated me on the Pelagorium theorem, and the fact that I can't pronounce that correctly shows you just how helpful that shit was. See, they want to educate you while also keeping you ignorant to the real world, which is why once you graduate, it hits you harder than Ray Rice in an elevator. I know I could teach myself now, but hell, I hated school. I did that shit for 18 years. Man, I'm like a meth head off probation. I ain't going back. As Grandpa once famously said, we should have known this country was going to shit when they took cursive out of schools, and now the kids can't get bank loans because they don't know how to sign their damn names. I'm so bad at cursive, I've been accused of forging my own signature. Doesn't matter though, I found the perfect job for me right here. Don't matter if my handwriting's shitty, as long as I can read my jokes, I'll be alright. As for the state of the school system, just ask the teachers. They don't teach kids anymore. They raise them now. But you know what doesn't get raised is their salaries. Now you make that shit make sense. Bullies never get held accountable, but don't worry, they'll be there to scold your child for standing up to them. They say no to drugs only to turn around and prescribe Adderall to every kid with a little bit of extra energy and turning them into paralysis patients. They want to incorporate more religions into the school, which there's nothing wrong with that. I 100% agree with that. I believe everybody has that right. However, why do we have to demonize our own to do it? Every morning you live in the fear that somebody might wake up on the wrong side of the bed and do something unspeakable. Basically, it's all going to shit. I tell you, man, this shit would have never happened if they would have just taught me how to do my taxes. I had a good friend named Jamie. She passed away last week, gone too young. Man, she was smoking hot. You know what I mean? Well, at least that's what they said down at the crematorium. Jamie was the type of girl like them energy drinks. You know, I don't think I've ever seen her drink a drop of water her whole life. That bitch could piss in a pool without the indicator and still turn color. Jamie had one of those big old ear gauges, which was real cool until she took it out. You know, like a real big basketball hoop. You know, you could shoot through it and everything. I was out there getting triple doubles on that bitch. Jamie used to work down there at the Goodwill selling blind kids burnt CDs of Luke Bryan as if fucking life wasn't already hard enough. I'll preach it up to you, man. Jamie was not all sunshine and rainbows. In fact, after a couple shots, she was more like a farmhand. All you seen was ass and elbows. Anyways, Jamie tragically lost her life in a drive-by. She didn't get shot or nothing. No. She got hit by the community church van. They was out there giving out peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Jamie smoked Pall Malls like an old head who mechanicked his whole life, which is quite ironic because she was the type to use the green pump at the gas station because those were the eco-friendly ones. If there's one good thing, one positive thing I will say about Jamie is Jamie was never afraid to ask the real questions, the real whys of the world. Like, why do we make aliens illegal and then bitch about the fact that we never get to see them? Jamie was a dumbass. Rest in peace, Jamie. You will be missed, even though you're just a figment of my imagination. Don't come over to my house if you're just gonna bitch about the living conditions. First off, I don't have central heating here. I advise a long sleeve in the wintertime. What you know about chilling in the living room with your jacket on? I got a stove, and if you see me turn it on, don't even ask me when I'm about to cook, bitch. Just the heater. You should have ate before you came. Also, I don't have internet connection, so don't even come over here asking about my hotspot. I'm supposed to be your ride or die, not your Wi-Fi. Besides, I used all my hotspot the other night to, binge watch Breaking Bad. Do I regret it? Hell no. Yes, the house is a mess, and no, I won't apologize about it. To be completely honest, I don't even want you here to begin with. Where's my damn apology? I do have a chimney though, and it works pretty well, except for that one time my buddy tossed a fat lighter log on it and about burnt the fucking house down. We didn't use that thing for 6 months after that. We were scared of it. Don't go in my bathroom trying to use my trimmer to freshen up your facial hair either. I use that shit on my balls. I mean, why do you think my shit's all fucked up? I mean, think about it. What I do have is DVDs. I got Star Wars The Phantom Menace on Blu-ray if you're into that. Inviting my friends over to the house is like the same thing as like if you have kids and you invite their friends over to the house. You know, you say yes, and then you bitch about it later. No more get-togethers at the Tucker household. Yeah, I'm calling it. Kids these days don't understand how easy they got it with these new phones. Nowadays, you drop your phone, you get worried. Oh my God, did I crack the screen? Let me tell you something. Back in my day, you drop your phone, the damn battery would pop out that bitch like a damn ejector seat in a fighter jet. Just pew, gone. Sometimes they'd even come with little parachutes attached. You don't know what it's like to be an addict until you're in your house flipping all your furniture looking for your fix. And by fix, I'm talking about that little square battery that's hiding from you like the bush monkeys after tax season. My buddy had a phone like that, you know what I mean? He just sat around on all day watching adult movies. He had all kinds of viruses on his phone, man. He dropped his phone, the SIM card popped out and went into witness protection. If there's one thing I do miss about them old flip phones, it's the fact that they were indestructible, man. You could throw them things and not break them. My dad had one of them flip phones, man. Let me tell you, he had that phone so long that it was able to draw retirement. He used to sit there and test the durability of it, you know, just for shits and giggles. He'd run it over, spike it on the asphalt like a football. He threw it out in the pond one time and it swam back. If you think about it though, it's just like everything else. They made it a whole lot better back in the day. I will say though, it definitely came with its pros and cons. Y'all remember trying to surf the internet on a flip phone? Do y'all remember that shit? Or what it felt like to get hit in the back of the head by one of them going 90 miles an hour? Especially when it was thrown by a mentally unstable, daddy issued Carrie Underwood listening Tequila on a Tuesday night type of woman? My buddy knows all about that too well. He had a toxic relationship back in 2005, and now every time he sees a Nakia, he gets a boner and a migraine at the same time. He don't know whether to reach for a condom or an aspirin. It's the craziest shit I've ever seen. Drugs these days are kind of like shoes, expensive and laced. Anyways, I got a question. Where does Mario get his mushrooms from? I'm asking for a friend. It's just when Mario eats mushrooms, he grows taller, but whenever I do, I always end up making love to one of the cows out in the pasture. I don't think I'm doing it right. I still remember the first time I got invited to go hunt mushrooms. I didn't know no better. I thought we was going to Kroger or some shit. Nobody informed me that we were going to a field to dig through cow shit, okay? That wasn't in the brochure. I know, I read it 3 times. I brought my girlfriend at the time with me, you know, all she could do, but she just bitching the whole time about her damn diet. Is this gonna ruin my diet? Like, bitch weighed like 300 pounds. What fucking diet? Diet exercise? Oh, yeah, she didn't think it was funny as I did. I was like, hey man, just out of curiosity, what happens if you eat the wrong one? He's like, well, you can get really sick and die. What the fuck? Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Let's go home and play mushroom roulette. That's why I need to talk to Mario. I need someone a little more qualified. Now, I like Danny. I do. But he accidentally put brake fluid in his gas tank, and we can't be making those kind of mistakes out here. If that's who we got making all the executive decisions out here, then you can call me Tom Brady, because I'm passing this one. I give Danny credit, though. He does have the best brakes in Berrien County now. What a damn truck ain't moved an inch in 6 months. I've never seen an Asian get gas before, like not even in the Fast and Furious movies. Anyone watching this already feeling uncomfortable? I sure hope so. But serious question though, like for real, where do they get their gas from? It's gotta be the BP, man. That's the only place I won't get gas from. Some of y'all might have forgot, but see, I didn't forget. I couldn't go to the beach or eat seafood for a whole year back in 2010 because of shit they did. And if you're wondering what it was that they did, just go Google the human centipede. It'll tell you all about it. Since when did it become so offensive to ask another culture why they navigate or why they do things the way they do? I'm just like a big sponge. I just want to be educated is all. But every time I try to ask something, man, it's just assumed that I'm an asshole. Like, for instance, I went to a funeral with one of my bros, you know, his uncle passed away, you know, and they're black. You know, it's a black funeral, you know, and they do things a little differently, you know, and I just curious how it was going to go, you know. I didn't want to be offensive, you know, but after a while I got, you know, confident, you know, I got ballsy, and I finally asked him. I was like, hey man, it's been 3 weeks, when we gonna bury this motherfucker? Hell, the funeral was Friday, it's Sunday, we in church now. I don't think there's nothing wrong with asking questions, just like I don't think there's nothing wrong with someone asking me a question, you know what I mean? We all got our tweaks, you know. By that I'm not referring to the meth head down the street. For instance, I'm white, so if I'm out in the woods and I see a random fire, my instincts kick in. Intelligence. My brain tells myself, man, find wood. And then I'm like your ex-wife, just out into the cold I go. Man, ain't nothing wrong with asking questions, man, educating yourself, wanting to learn about people, man. What the hell is wrong with that? Plus, it's just easier to ask for the ingredients instead of getting kicked out of food line for stalking my homeboy's grandmama. Hell, she half blind, her ass was in there running around thinking she getting chased by a damn Pall Mall cigarette. Toxic relationships are like monthly cycles. No matter how good it seems now, it always ends in a week full of pain and sorrow. Sometimes it's worse than others, but all you can do is take a Midol and go with the flow. After a while, you start to expect the pain, so when it doesn't come, you get nervous. And if it doesn't come, well, you're probably fucked. I laugh at people when they get mad their cycle never changes. You want your cycle to change, but you still got the same spokes in your wheel. Now you tell me whose fault that is. You mean you took her back after she got straight piped like it was daddy's money by some dude in a Ford Pinto who had a really cool mustache, might I add, all because because you thought it'd be different this time? Don't fool yourself, kiddo. That girl swallowed more wieners than first place at a national hot dog eating contest. It's like when people say the grass is greener on the other side. Maybe that's because you're so busy admiring their grass you're not watering your own. Or maybe it's all the dead spots you got out here. Now, I know, Tommy, I know that ain't no grease spill. You are the company you keep, tomato, tomato. The point is, it's your fault. I'm honest enough to admit I've been removed from quite a few wheels. I used to be an asshole at a point in my life, but at some point you gotta grow up, get your shit together, and keep moving, because life's gonna keep moving regardless, you know, and I don't know how this went from a joke to a motivational speech, but here we are. It don't too much bother me whenever a woman wears makeup to fake an appearance, because usually I have to fake my entire personality just to get the bitch to go on a date with me. This is how I even the playing field. I am a really nice guy, though. Well, pre-intercourse. Yeah, I've never been good at getting on this app and helping my case any. It is definitely my fault, though. I'm kind of like this magnet for, you know, toxicity and shit. Hell, I see a red flag and go colorblind. If I was ever playing flag football and the other team was a squad of 5'5" mentally unstable females with red flags, you can call it Remember the Titans out there, because they wouldn't get out a fucking yard. We run around that field like Troy Polamalu. After the game, I'll try and talk to them, you know, but again, I gotta fake it. Yeah, baby, I don't know if you heard or not, but they like to call me Ray Lewis, because I'm all pro when it comes to this deep. Yeah, not the fact that he smoked someone and got away with it, you know what I mean? I ain't no killer, baby, but don't push me. Yeah. But anyway, here's my card right here. Yeah, you make sure you hold on to that. So what are you doing, lady? You want to listen to some Carrie Underwood? I couldn't have drew that shit up better if I was Leonardo da Vinci on Adderall, okay? Perfect execution. Mwah. There's a message I like to give to all the young whippersnappers out there. It's, look at me acting like I'm old and shit. If there's a message I like to give, it's that your parents always know what you're doing, even if you don't think they do. For instance, back when I first got my license and I didn't have my own vehicle yet, I used to have to steal my dad's truck all the time. Now, I didn't technically steal the truck. It's just my dad was one of those types of people, you know, you couldn't take the truck unless you had a legitimate reason, you know, so I would just lie. I gotta run to the store. I gotta go to McDonald's, get me something to eat real quick. I gotta make a deposit at the bank or some shit. Now, was I going to these places for real? No, I was going to buy weed. He used to always blow up in my face, though, because I'd tell him I'm going to the store or something, and then he'd hand me $5 and ask me to get him something. Like, fuck. I had no desire to go to the store. I was trying to get my shit and get home, and that's what I would do. I would go, and I'd get back, you know, after doing my thing, and I'd make up some bullshit. Like, man, the store was closed. They got some new holiday they got going on this year. And my dad was real gullible, you know, so he'd believe me, you know, and I did that shit for months. And then one day my dad just looks at me and he's like, son, I don't care that you take my truck to buy weed and all, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, you think you might have the common courtesy to stop at a fucking Dollar Tree and get me a damn Milky Way every now and again? Huh, shit. See, the lesson is that parents know you be lying and they know you be on the bullshit. They let you get away with it because they're letting you be kids. I told him the truth though. I was like, Dad, I can't get you that Milky Way. He says, son, I just gave you $5 earlier. I said, yes, sir. And that $5 upgraded that 2 grams and 2 1/8. I appreciate it. So to all my youngins out there, if you're ever going to use your dad's truck to buy pot, you know, at least get him a Milky Way. You ever thinking about coming to Georgia? Don't. Just wait till you come visit North Georgia, aka Meth Mountain. I give the tweakers up their credit. They're in great shape, man. I ran into one, you know, he was hiking the Appalachian Trail, you know, it was pretty cool, you know, I felt inspired. I was like, so what's the cause, man? Trying to get sober, trying to bring awareness to substance abuse? He was like, nah, man, I got better shit in West Virginia. He had his buddy from Alabama with him. He kept screaming, whoa, Tide. I got confused for a second. I was like, nah, it's Roe versus Wade. In the South, if you hit the ditch, you know, it's quite simple. You know, you just toss your beer can and pull right on out. You hit the ditch in North Georgia, you liable to be 3 counties over before you hit the bottom. I really hate the fact that people up there drive like we ain't hanging off the side of a fucking cliff. You're about one glance text away from starring in a Dukes of Hazzard spinoff that gets canceled after the first scene. What y'all know about Albany, Georgia? I went to Albany, Georgia the other day. I was asking for directions. The man told me back the way I came. I was walking through there the other day, you know, turned my head for like 10 seconds. You know, someone done ran up and stole my legs. Had me sitting out there on cinder blocks. My car battery died outside of a Comic-Con in Albany, Georgia one time. I asked somebody if they'd jump me, and next thing I knew, I was getting the shit beat out of me by 7 Power Rangers. Everybody down here don't agree on everything, but if there's one thing we all agree on, nobody speeds through Poland, Georgia. Don't even get me started on coastal Georgia, man. What the hell happened to y'all's water? I went swimming in Jekyll Island back in July, and now the doctors tell me that I got whatever killed Eazy-E. I used to love Jekyll Island too, you know, back before they turned it to a resort and kicked out all the alcoholics. We got Tifton, Georgia. Tifton's slogan is the friendly city, which is quite ironic being as that town has one of the worst crime rates in all of America. But then the other day, I saw a crackhead robbing the Waffle House, and he had a smile on his face the whole time, and I was just thinking, you know, at least he's nice about it. And maybe that's what the slogan means. Maybe it's a morale thing. sibling. Tiffin is like Meg from Family Guy. Nobody really gives a shit, but unfortunately she is part of the family. Come to Douglas, or as I like to call it, the desert city, because no matter which route you take, it takes so long driving through nothingness and dead zones to get there that when you finally reach it, you're confused on whether or not you hallucinated it. I like to call Douglas the place that Tyreek Hill went in high school at, because, you know, that's pretty much all they're known for, other than, you know, also being the place that I flunked out of college. I don't have to talk about Valdosta, Georgia. All you gotta do is just turn on the news. Valdosta talks about itself. So again, if you're thinking about coming to Georgia, don't. Especially if you're from Florida. I think there should be a law set in place that every time a Florida resident leaves the state, they have to retake their driver's test at the border. The driver instructor that gave you those licenses sat in the passenger seat playing Candy Crush the entire time. But no, seriously, don't come here. And I'm starting to think these edibles are fake. How you feeling? Doing pretty good if you ask me. How the fuck did you get back there? Watch the road! Dude, we ain't even going anywhere. That's how I know you're high. You think I'm the one that's high right now? Dude, I'm not even real. You're the only one in the car right now. Dude, you're right. Hey, wait, where the fuck did I go? In the South, if you hear gunshots, it just means someone somewhere having a better time than you. In the South, drinking and driving does not apply to dirt roads. And if you ever hit the ditch and get stuck, I got a buddy that'll come pull you out for a pack of Marlboro Reds and a 6-pack of Natty Daddies. In the South, it's best not to ask somebody about their car unless you want to hear about all the work they've done to it over the past 25 years. In the South, if you see a cop, it's common courtesy to flash every driver you see after that to let them know that there's danger ahead. In the South, we wave at everyone, even if we don't know who the hell you are. Have you ever been woken out of your sleep at 2 a.m. to the sound of tannerite blast? You might be from the South. You ever seen a lawnmower going down the highway going 75 miles an hour? Do you drink your sweet tea out of mason jars? And I'm talking about the real sweet tea, not none of that northern shit. I've had y'all's tea before, okay? That shit tastes like a fucking aneurysm. You ever seen a fight break out at a cornhole tournament? Do you or somebody you know have a finger missing because they held a firecracker too long? You might be from the South. You see a Subaru with an AC unit strapped in the back windshield, you're in the right place. If you see a John Deere tractor in the Wendy's drive-thru, you're probably in the right place. If husband and wife start looking more like brother and sister, you done got lost. That ain't the South I'm talking about. You in the wrong place. Here's some Southern slang. First off, we don't say something's over there. We say it's over yonder, okay? And if it's far enough, we say it's over yonder way. In other places of the world, y'all just means you all. But here in the South, y'all is a universal term that you can use for anything. I mean, hell, y'all is our favorite word right behind all the cuss words. See y'all later. What y'all been up to? What y'all doing later? Even if it's just one person, it's still y'all. Bless your heart, it's just a nice, you know, Christian Southern way of saying you're a dumbass. We don't get ready to do it, we fixing to do it. If we want something bad enough, we start developing what you like to call a hankering. If we don't know what something is, we call it a thingy-majigger or a whatchamacallit. If you was ever told you could probably eat corn through a picket fence, you probably got soap bars for teeth. I wouldn't worry too much about it though. Hell, like 20% of the population down here don't even have teeth. We don't always say thank you. Sometimes we say appreciate it. Full send is a popular term often used prior to major automotive repair. And an over-exaggeration is that thing that your buddy does when he talks about that deer he missed. I hate it when I get around someone who doesn't understand Southern slang. I got a buddy like that. I told him the other day, I said, hey man, let's go rip some lips. You know what I mean? I sat out on that pond for 2.5 hours waiting on him. That man was sitting up at the gynecologist. It's now time for the redneck word of the day. Today's redneck word of the day is Arkansas. My great granddaddy was on Noah's Arkansas 2 bucks, and he said if it was up to him, deer would have been extinct a long time ago. To me, South Georgia is just one big Circle K parking lot. Diesel trucks, camo clothing, food stamps, Confederate flags, bowl peanut stand, the subway extension, undercover cops, somebody's playing cornhole by the gas pump. Don't forget about the Dollar General across the street. The truckers are outside throwing hands over the last 5-hour energy drink. You got your lot lizards, you got your change beggars, cigarette butts, empty Red Bull cans, discarded weave, cheap condoms, expensive gas, empty cigar packs, and crackheads. And that's about it. It's not that I hate it down here, it's just everybody's been robbed by a guy that looks like Steve-O. They usually have one of them Bible names too, like Ezekiel or Elijah, some shit like that. And Jesus spoketh to thee, return thy unit at once. I wouldn't trade it for nothing though. I love it around here. I love the small town, or as I like to call it, the golf cart community. There's always a smell of barbecue in the air, although you can never quite tell where it's coming from. Another thing I love about being in a small town is you don't even have to worry if someone steals anything from you. Just sit around, wait 3 days, and hop on Facebook Marketplace. They'll be there. I like it down here. Despite all the other shit I just said, I fit in quite nice. Sometimes self-checkout lines are like the border. You stand in line for hours only to be told it's card only. Whenever I check out at Walmart, it's like I'm on the phone with customer service. I'm constantly asking for a real person. If I ever get arrested for theft at a self-checkout machine, I'm just going to take it to court and claim I wasn't trained properly. What bothers me is how they make the bags smaller so you can't bag the bigger items, and they use it as an excuse to check the receipt at the door. It used to be their job to do their job. Now it's their job to make sure you do their job, and if you don't do their job, then it's their job to still do nothing, and these people are pushing for $15 an hour. To be fair though, this has nothing to do with the employees. It's not their fault they lost their position to a robot who only got the job because he's cousins with a Terminator. I seen a Facebook post the other day where it was like, you remember when you used to be able to buy lobster and ARs at Walmart? Like, this used to be a country, man. I couldn't agree with that shit more, man. I can't buy a gun or abuse my EBT. Whatever happened to being open 24/7? Whatever happened to being able to buy your duster cans in private? Self-checkout really isn't that bad. It's just kind of annoying at times. You know, like whenever it tells you that you need employee assistance, but the assistant is busy out smoking a Marlboro Red in the parking lot like we're at a fucking Waffle House or some shit. And I remember this one time I went through a roadblock and they had the whole Paw Patrol out there. They had Ryder and Rubble. The whole crew was out there, man. It was immaculate. I was like, is that Marshall? And Ryder was like, hell yeah. And I was like, hell yeah. Marshall was like, hell no, this motherfucker got drugs. I got taken to jail by the Paw Patrol. That's right, these dirty animals do more than just fix roads and sell cabbages and shit. They don't show that on TV. They save that footage for cops and live PD. That dog had its nose so far at my ass, it could smell the lie I was trying to conjure up to get me out of that situation. I felt violated about that, but hell, every time I bring it up to somebody, they just laugh at me. It ain't like how it used to be, you know what I'm saying? Hell, my grandpa be pissed enough his grandson got smelled up by a German dog. I don't own a dog, but if I did, it'd be Brian Griffin. Brian wouldn't send me to jail. Brian be in the cell with me. Now that's true definition of man's best friend. My son thought we was about to watch some Paw Patrol. No sir, no sir. We won't be having that in my household. We turn on some Family Guy. I only get paid if the video is a minute or longer, so here's me staring out in the distance vaguely until I make up the time. Okay, that should be good enough. School was this very weird place for me. They had this line coming in daring us not to do drugs, and then one day the school board was like, yeah, this kid don't pay attention. We're going to put him on enough Adderall to knock out an overgrown Ethiopian anteater. They said, Miss Tucker, this boy might have a speech impediment. No, bitch, I got cotton mouth. I got me here feeling like I just ate a bowl of soup crackers. The line dared me to not do drugs, but my buddy double dared me to do drugs, and I was out of options at that point. If you're a stoner, you should find your own spot instead of trying to smoke at the trap house. You don't want to be in there when they get busted. Imagine trying to explain that to the officer. Sir, I just came here to smoke pot. I had no idea they was cooking meth in the back there. Sure, I do smell the chemicals, but they got a lot of roaches around here. I'm a stoner, yes, but I'm scared to take other drugs. I'm scared to take pills, too. Especially muscle relaxers. What if I have to go to the bathroom? I got loose cheeks already as it is. I might shit myself. I swear to God, I can never keep these videos on track. I ain't worried about that line, though. Hell, we all let that sumbitch down. First time I woke up face down in the cornfield and I liked it, I knew I was already on the wrong track. I'm a firm believer that we're already in hell, and either you die a good person and go to heaven, or you have to get reincarnated and pay your taxes all over again. That's why the kids keep getting worse and worse nowadays. It ain't the parents' fault. Hell, that's Lil Adolf. No, I'm joking though. It is some of y'all parents. So some of y'all ain't worth a shit. You gonna get cussed out by your kid, and then you gonna convince me that he don't understand. Like he ain't just form a complete sentence. Baby over here talking about F you this, F you that, you. What don't he understand? The rest of his vowels? What the? If my kid cusses me out, I'm gonna have to get reincarnated and pay my taxes all over again. I love my son with all my heart, but he gets on my everlasting nerve, just like my old lady. And everyone keeps wondering why my hair's thinning. By this rate, I'll be bald by 30, and with ears like mine, I'll be looking like a cigarette butt with wings. Being a parent is not for the weak. No, literally, the other night I went to go grab that little shit out the tub and I pulled my kidney. It's funny when some people get upset with me for referring to my son as a little shit, but then again, some of y'all be calling your son daddy, and I'll be honest, that's just a little weird. You got about one time to text me talking about daddy needs diapers. Bitch, I'm daddy. I'm 27, I shit just fine. Kids, man, gotta love them. Sometimes. Friendships these days are like used garbage bags full of shit and disposable. Shit's faker than plastic surgery on a pro wrestler. I can tell when a friendship's fake, cause y'all be too nice to each other, man. Real bros are assholes, you know, it's bro code. For instance, we used to have this buddy that was big on wildlife, you know, he was one of those tree huggers, you know. We used to strap him down and make him watch old Vietnam War clips of them napalm and tree lines. My best friend, may he rest in peace, was black, and boy, I tell you, we gave each other hell. But at the end of the day, we were like brothers, man. In fact, I knew we were brothers when he gave me the N-word pass. Word of advice, that is an individual pass. That is not universal. I about got my ass beat outside of a church's chicken because of that shit. Good friends are like morning wood. They pop out of nowhere and tempt you with a good time. Even when y'all get older and he doesn't come around as much as he used to, and you guys start taking pills to have a good time, and there's this heart attack risk involved. All I'm saying is, obviously, I don't want anyone shitting in my toilet, but it's the fact that you've never attempted that makes me wonder if you're really my friend. They say you get 3 solid friends in your lifetime, and already that's too many birthdays for me. I'm gonna have to pass. At this point in my life, my best friends are me, myself, and I. I was watching the Discovery Channel the other night. They had 2 leopard seals in there making love in a white sedan. Reminds me of the time that one of my friends called me early one morning, and I didn't pick up the first time because I am an asshole, but I picked up the second time. She had had unprotected sex the night before on a pull-out couch. Think of the irony. And she needed a ride to Walmart for a plan B, like I'm some sort of taxi. She offered me $20. I said, fuck it, we a taxi today. On the way up there, I got curious. I was like, why ain't you get the potential baby daddy to take? Apparently it was at a party and they were drunk and she don't even know his name. And at this point, I'm looking at her in disgust, right? Like, I'm so disappointed. Cause like, if I would've known she got down like that, I would've been done slid in that ass. We finally get to the Walmart. She don't even have enough money to get it. So I have to give her the gas money that she gave me back so she can afford it. The way I was raised, you know, gas, grass, or ass. So the way it's looking, you know, I hope you got 2 of those pills. Man, I'm just joking, y'all. I'm not that type of person, you know, so I just made her walk instead.